Cybersecurity operations. Yes, we do protect, detect, and respond. Our cybersecurity ops or SOC or what is called or psychops or frontline defense guys or cyber defense operations center, anything, any name you call, these are the frontline operations guys. Uh, most of the companies will not have this type of infrastructure. Yes, you'll have multiple monitors there, and then you'll be looking at multiple consoles, multiple alerts to see what's going on. So what a function of SOC does, right? SOC basically collects all the logs coming into an enterprise. It can be from a router or switch, your web proxy, your email, your web servers, your firewalls, your web applications, your antivirus systems, anything else which your company is interested in. It will collect all the logs. We'll log everything in a system called SIEM, Security Incident and Event Management Solution. We'll feed all the logs in that. We'll ingest that everything in that, and then with this system will try to correlate or validate all the logs. Then we as an analyst will try to validate these logs and say that, okay, I see an activity. What am I supposed to do? Oh, this is something related to an attack, or like, oh, I see this is a brute force happening, or there's a phishing email which is coming in. I need to do something. I'll take action. I'll try to report, and then report this to the concerned teams, or report this to the concerned higher authorities. The other teams will try to respond that, or it's my own team which will respond that, and then we will try to go clean up our infected machine, infected a compromised server, give remediation steps, and then make sure that we put controls in there, and we finally document everything, right? So when we document everything, it will come back as a loop as to what caused us to miss that particular incident, and then how do I try to protect my own organization from the next time onwards. That's something which SOC does day in, day out, repeatedly. So branches of cybersecurity, for Harshal, your question, what does we go in cybersecurity? So we have got network security, we have got endpoint, we have got application, cloud, IoT, and digital forensics. So these are all different branches where either you can, be a master of everything here, or you can be master of some of them, or you can master of one of the activities. Usually, network teams are more part of network security, or a NOC team, which is Network Operations Center. They are good at network operations. Endpoint security, SOC. Application security, again SOC, which looks at IDS, IPS alerts. Cloud security, again SOC. SOC will look at these systems as well. IoT security is something which is now starting up. We need to understand how many companies are integrating IoT in their own organizations. Let's take an example. So we had a company when I earlier worked, so they are related to, they'll take care of parking lots in US, correct? So they buy spaces and they make parking lots. These parking lots are paid, and they have, for every parking slot, they have a RFID or a tag, right? Which is connected to a IoT, which is internet, so small device which actually identifies somebody parks a car, it senses it. So those type of companies will actually want to understand if there is a malfunction in some of these internet connected devices. Say suppose, if somebody parks their car and my IoT device says that the slot is free, right? What happens? For me, it shows that it's free, but I have already parked my car. Now, how do I do it? And that's how we'll fix it if somebody has actually attacked that. IoT, there was this something called a Miraya bot, which I don't know how many of you are aware of. I think a couple of years back, the Miraya bot made a sensation because Miraya bot is nothing but IoT is nothing but your smart bulb, the smart TV, your smart AC, the smart fan, the smart fridge, everything which is called a smart has IoT built in. It means it has got an Android system or a Windows or a Linux system, compressed core OS built into this system. So what happens, this Miraya bot took advantage of the default configuration or default login ID passwords for all these things. So how did it do it? It used a site called shodan.io. I'll show you guys what is that site. It basically scanned all these devices and it popped up and said that, these guys bought particular set of devices and they cracked it and figured out, okay, they use this login ID password. They scanned for all these type of devices connected to the internet. They started logging in them with these using default credentials. They were successful. They wrote a script and they started, attacking every IoT device across the world, which they were able to scan and connect to, and then converted them into attackers or zombies, which the attackers control, and did a DDoS or some other applications, right? They DOSed an application or basically attacked other third-party companies where the end guys will never be able to figure out who the actual attacker was, because all these attacks are coming from these IoT devices which are across the world, which is controlled by one single guy, right? So that's how the IoT is more secure. Even if you have your IoTs, you'll have to secure it. So yes, Harshal, they all come as part of cybersecurity. So the thing is for you. So Harshal asked the question: the routing information like RIP, EIGRP, or OSPF. These are all protocols for your routers and switches, which is used to route data, are also vulnerable. Yes, any protocol, any port which is default configured, which is not tied down, is vulnerable, can be used to attack. Correct. So yeah, I'll probably talk more about that probably sometime in the next couple of in next 30 minutes or so. But yeah, those can be used to attack. And digital forensic. Digital forensic is nothing but you guys are taking forensic copy or digital copy of your hard drive and trying to understand how the attack came in, where the attacker was there, did he was actually in the RAM, scrape up the RAM and see how much artifact can I see as part of the RAM forensics and everything else. Then we'll talk about what are the different roles and responsibilities of cybersecurity. So in a typical organization, you'll have an incident responder, malware analysis, forensic expert, as a security analyst as part of one SOC team. Red team and blue team, yes, it can be a broader red teaming exercise. The SOC and the red team will work together. Red team will attack, blue team will try to defend. Blue team is nothing but a SOC team. Red teaming is nothing but an attackers team, which we have hired, as I said, intentionally within our own organization to see what they can attack and how blue team can defend against the attack. So this is a kind of a gameplay. They do it internally so that they know how strong is the blue team and what they need to do, what the blue team needs to do in terms of protecting themselves, or how they should be strong enough in terms of identifying alerts. The vulnerability assessment and pen testing is a whole different team, which will not be part of SOC team more or less, but they'll be different team. They'll be trying to assess your vulnerability by scanning using Qualys, Nessus, or some of the other tools, and then trying to find out what are the weaknesses in your own organization, in applications, hardware, and everything else, and then try to patch those. And then pen testing team will, after the patch is done, they'll try to break in and see whether they were able to penetrate it from the outside of the organization or the inside of the organization, just to understand how the patching of the application and servers work well, right? So yeah,